Today's episode is sponsored by Spartan Chemical Company. Family owned and operated since 1956, Spartan Chemical is a leading manufacturer of superior and cost-effective specialty chemical products sold through select, trusted distributors. Spartan Chemical makes clean simple. For more information, please visit spartanchemical.com. On today's program, I'm pleased to welcome Dave Kell. He's the owner of Kell Way Sales Systems, and Dave is dedicated to helping business-to-business sales professionals succeed. And Dave, thank you for giving up some time today to talk with us about an important topic.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
What we're going to talk about is an email you sent out in your newsletter, and it was about character traits that no one likes. Whiners and complainers.
Yeah.
And you would think that salespeople, Dave, would always display a positive attitude to present to prospects. And maybe they do to prospects, but you noticed it's not always the case where they're positive, that they do complain, they do whine. So talk about that a little bit. How do you handle chronic whiners in the workplace?
Any of these issues with a salesperson who just aggravates you, or irritates you, I always recommend the first thing you do is make a real good, logical, informed decision about whether or not that salesperson is productive and profitable to the company. And we have, over the years, we've developed a measurement of, we call it a measurement of sales productivity. It's called Kale's calculation. And it's a way to measure, take all the emotion out of it. You just come down to a number, single number, that is the measurement of sales productivity. So we always recommend that, first determine whether or not the salesperson is productive, because if he's not, then it opens up a whole lot of options on that side. And if he is, there's options on the other side. So step one, determine whether or not the salesperson is productive and profitable to the company, and get the emotion out of it. It's not a matter what you think they think. Let's get the emotion out. Just look at the numbers.
Okay. In your newsletter, you shared an experience where you fielded a phone call from someone who was a complainer. They went on a rant, I think you said.
Yeah.
And you hung up on him. So it was funny because you said it might be, and you admitted it might be your problem or my problem.
Yeah.
Listening to the complainer than the one doing the complaining. Can you tell us about that?
It's salespeople and sales managers. I think we're so intense in what we're trying to do that it's easy to default or to fall back on a complaining sort of mentality, and especially when you're talking to the boss or people inside the company. Like say, it's one thing when you're talking with customers and prospects. It's another thing when you're talking to people internally. And this is internally. And I'm not advocating that you hang up. I think that was just an example of sometimes your emotion gets the best of you. But the issue really is if you have, so let's say you have a salesperson who's profitable, okay, and you got that. So now the issue is you want to keep them. So whose problem is it? It's basically you've got to determine. The easiest thing to do is determine that you're not going to be bothered by this. So you make that decision to not be bothered. And then you can let it go. You guys just like rain off the turtle's back. It just doesn't matter. So, but you have to make that decision. And again, it's really best if you make that an informed decision on the basis of the productivity of the salesperson.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. You're working with a situation, especially if they're productive and making the sales. To wrap this up, any other advice you'd like to offer if you have a salesperson, even if he's performing well, to turn that around, maybe to help with that complaining, whining attitude? Anything to add there?
Yeah, I always ask. I always think it's best. These kind of situations are best handled with a well thought out question or series of questions. So when you're working with that salesperson, you might say, "Are you aware that you come across like this?" So that's it's not saying, "Hey, stop it." It's not confrontational. It's inquisitive, and That's the power of a question. It gets people to think, and so you get people to reflect and think. They may not even be aware. So I would recommend a couple questions like that that bring the issue to the salesperson's mind, and put the responsibility on him to change.
Okay, well, that's good advice. Conversations always produce positives. Telling someone what to do may not give you what you're looking for. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
that's, I think that's a basic. That's in our sales management course. We teach that. I mean, we strongly teach the concept and the practice of ask, don't tell. That's the rule. Ask, don't tell, and that takes some preparation. It takes some discipline, some intentionality, but it's a really a worthwhile management rule to go by.
Yeah, I get it. Let that they know the solution, no doubt, somewhere in their head, and the question will
Yeah,
get them thinking about that. So, all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Dave, for your time today. And next time we'll cover another management topic that everyone needs to hear about.